Hello, James. Hello, Sunil.
Good evening.
Hello, Sam.
Sound is good. All right. So I guess we are ready to start. So let's go. So hello, everyone, and welcome to this first Global Math Project webinar. My name is Samuel Saint-Amour. I'm the marketing manager at Scholab, the makers of the online math learning platforms NetMath and BuzzMath. I'm here as the moderator for this webinar, and we'll start right away with a few housekeeping items. So the first one is to let you know that we will keep a questions period at the end of the webinar. So if you have questions, make sure to type them in the chat box. I will make sure to keep them and answer them at the end. Also, in the days to come, we will share the recorded version of this webinar to everyone on the Global Math Project website. So have a look there to download or share if you like the webinar. Also, if there's a technology hiccup, hang tight, we'll just fix it and make sure to be back within a few seconds. And just before I leave, I wanted to share with you a file it's actually a work in progress image on which the team here at Scholab is working on in the context of the Global Math Project. So you can download it from the shared files pop-up window there. So I'll leave it there for a few seconds, a few minutes if you want to download it and have a look. And I will also leave the stage to your two hosts, James and Sunil. To you guys.
Thank you, Sam.
G'day.
G'day. So I'm Sunil. I'm a math consultant at Scholab. James?
And I'm James. I'm James Tan. I guess I'm one of the co-founders of the Global Math Project, a very bold and audacious program.
Yes, and so I think we talked before behind the scenes in terms of how we should do the introductions, because there's two of us, and you've Exploding Dots, and you're like the ambassador of ambassadors for this joyous celebration. But I think there is a nice narrative in terms of how this project or part of the project came together. So I was a high school math and physics.
Tell me all about yourself, Sunil. Go for it. This has been
Really?
fabulous.
Go for it? Okay, okay.
Totally.
I'm going to give you a compressed 4-year version in 4.5 minutes. So I was a math and physics teacher for 19 years, and I really enjoyed teaching those subjects. And in 2013, literally in the middle of the day, for reasons which I would become clearer later on, I quit. And I think my heart was no longer there for teaching mathematics in ways which I had maybe been exposed to, or maybe I saw 4 years down the road there was going to be this global math project that I'd be a part of, and I had some premonition. Who knows how the universe works, right? And so I left the profession not knowing what to do, but after a couple of months, I realized, you know what? I wish I had a math store. Just like my own math store, which had math games and puzzles and T-shirts and mugs and pens and all these goodies, and there would be a lounge area with all these books that people could read and see mathematics exposed in such delightful ways, and maybe there'd be a school, and this is what I started. And we got 5,000 square feet in north of Toronto, and at this time I'd reached out to you and lots of other people, letting them know that, hey, Sunil's in Canada. He's going to be opening up this math store school. And 1 week before opening, our grand opening, there was a fire. And this fire now, it seems like it served a midwife to where I am now. But at the time, it was devastating because literally my dreams, and they went up in flames and smoke. And but I picked myself up together, and I decided to export all the ideas that I was going to have people visit this math store school just north of Toronto. And I set up a booth at a Ontario Association of Math Educators annual conference, and a vendor booth, nothing too big. But as luck would have it, as good fortune would have it, one of my neighbors to the right of me were the fine folks at Scholab. And we spoke for 2 days, and they said, Sunil, how come maybe you should come and, do some stuff with us, and you can do that. And after a couple of months or so, I became a full-time employee, and James and I never, that seed of initial communication it just flourished into a meeting in San Francisco at NCTM, and the Global Math Project was born before then, and everything else is now it's going to be history.
But it's carried forward brilliantly by you, Sunil, and by the powerful focus at Scholab. They're just so wonderful. It's been so generous and grand. So thank you, Sunil. Thank you, Scholab. Big time. All right, me. So you did 4 years and 30 seconds. Let's see if I can do 30 years in 20 seconds. So let's see. So I'm James. I grew up in Australia, and I came to the US back in 1988, which I cannot believe how long ago that was. And I got my PhD here in mathematics. I was actually in the whole proper research world and all the rest, but I knew I was a teacher in my heart all along through there. So actually, rather than becoming a university professor in the high-powered research world, I actually did the research world, but in the liberal arts college setting. So I was a college professor for many years. But teaching is always my big thing, and I very much got interested in the state of education at all levels, pre-K all the way up to, undergraduate work and graduate work as well. And I was looking at the high school curriculum in particular in the US. Somehow I fell into doing a lot of work with teachers. And yes, there's a lot of good stuff going on, but at the same time, there's a lot of tough slog to get through, in particular in the high school curriculum. And the only way any sane person can survive getting through that curriculum, be it a student or a teacher, is to basically just slog your way through it. And it's kind of joyless in some ways. So I was wondering, I was very much intrigued by the problem. Can one expand on all the good that's being done so that good actually spreads not just across, one little sphere of a lesson or two here or there, but across the entire curriculum? So to be honest in that project, I decided I was going to become a high school teacher myself. What can I take on that challenge of teaching joyous mathematical thinking whilst dealing with the demands of the very demanding high school rigorous curriculum, and get all my kids to pass those state exams and all the rest, and all the rest. So that was my challenge for a good 10 years of my life. So I became a high school teacher, and that's why I thought very deeply about what is the nature of mathematics, what is the nature that makes it joyful, what makes it be able to do all the demands that society wants kids and students and teachers to be able to do nonetheless, and nut your way through it with joy and just a certain spirit of happiness all the way through it all. Hence, I thought about, okay, what is this curriculum? What does it mean to the human condition? What makes mathematics transcend boundaries and unite communities, even within the school system and teaching algebra 2 or trigonometry, whatever it's going to be? Hence, that's been my passion for basically my entire career. Then came along the idea of the Global Math Project. So, should we talk about that now?
I think we should. Before you go ahead.
No, what were you about to say? I'm curious.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm one of those people who just believes in timing. So 2017, it's a prime year. The last prime number was 2011. It's been 6 years. A lot of things have happened in 6 years, in terms of probably myself, just in terms of math education. And I came across this just the other day, and Francis Su, the outgoing president of the Mathematical Association for America.
Stunning. I know what you're talking about. Stunning. Okay.
And
his final address to the Mathematical Society. Yep.
And this whole idea of human flourishing, and he's referencing how the Greeks, the metrics they use for living a good life, truth, justice, joy, love, and then he's pulling these markers out from mathematics. So the bar is set, but it's set high by, I think, the world now. And
absolutely.
I think the timing of it, is almost impeccable. And I think that's something which I think we can feel it when we go to conferences or do workshops. There's an electricity. There's a buzz literally happening. And I think that if you can just speak to more at the time.
I firmly believe that mathematics really does transcend our humanness, in the sense it really does speak to something deeper beyond our everyday woes and struggles and quibbles between borders and so forth. It actually transcends all that and truly does unite people and communities. That's why I'm so excited about the Global Math Project. Let's put that idea to the test. If I really believe it, let's put it to the test. In fact, no, I'm not going to fail. It's going to be just spectacular. So let me say what it is. Maybe people don't know what the Global Math Project actually is. They're hearing all this buzz, but what is this thing? So let's see. So I guess the idea was conceived about 2 years ago. So, well, I guess it really started in 2013 with another organization called the Hour of Code, who decided that they want to bring coding to the world, have students partake in an hour of coding one time during a special week of October 2013. They want to reach 1 million kids, and they've done that. In fact, since then, they've reached about 250,000 kids, I think they say on their website, which I totally believe. And a colleague of mine, Jill Denise, said to me, you know what? Why don't we do the same thing for math? There should be an hour of math. And you know what I said? golly gee, she's absolutely right. Let's have an hour of math. Let's declare a special week of 2017 to be Global Math Week and have students and teachers across the globe sign up to do an hour of math together. A little bit sneaky here because we've got to be honest here. Yes, mathematics is experienced by most everyone on this planet, and it's usually the school experience. So we've decided to be absolutely honest to show how the school curriculum content that people see every day when they actually go and do their work in schooling is itself its own portal to joy, wonder, mystery, intrigue, and delight. And that's exactly what the work I was doing as a high school teacher myself. How can I take simple stories, declutter them from jargon and the demands that seem to be placed in a formalized curriculum, and just see it for what it is and see that gem of beauty in mathematics propels you nonetheless along if you're just willing to have the confidence to just try things out, things will just fall into place like magic and beauty. That's the joy of being a mathematician. So one story that came up for my experience as a high school teacher is a thing called Exploding Dots. So we've declared October 10th the start of Global Math Week for 2017, and we're going to do this every year, and this year the rolled out topic is going to be Exploding Dots, which is one of the most astounding, if I say so myself, topics of all time that starts from knowing nothing, literally nothing. And we start with K, grade K, learning about basic how to write numbers and place value. And within a very short, swift, and natural and very accessible, nothing's forced here, just let the story unfold unto itself. We can actually march our way through the grade school curriculum or primary school curriculum, depending which country you call it in, get through a whole bunch of high school algebra that seems very like arcane and strange, but actually has a wonderful storyline to it nonetheless. Push it even to elements of pre-calculus and calculus, and push it even beyond that to actually undergraduate mathematics and even unsolved research work that's going on still to this day. All from one very simple, natural idea, which is the joy of mathematics. It is a storyline. We want to show that to the world, and we invite students and teachers to take part in that experience by delivering that to one and all to access through the wonderful power of Scholab, our great partner here, and have just do these experiences with their students in the class during that week and talk about it. Share videos, share photos, share comments about how it went. Keep going. We won't stop this at the end of Global Math Week. We believe math is eternal, so we'll keep everything up and available for free for eternity. That's the plan here. Math does not go away. We don't want it to go away. We just want to keep adding to it. So basically, that's in a nutshell what Global Math Project is going to do. It's a worldwide event to bring a joyous conversation about mathematics together and show it really does unite communities, everyone across this planet.
And we spoke about this off air. I say off air, it feels like a television show, but we really want to dig down in terms of the human experience and really catalog that that mathematics does cross all of these cultural, socioeconomic lines. And you were talking about one of our ambassadors in Tanzania who takes a donkey with books, and we really want to address the idea of equity, and we want the human experience of learning math at this nexus of just when they first discover something and that aha joy. And I mean, I know you travel a lot around the world. You've almost circumnavigated a couple times, and I was just in Georgia, small town.
Strange way. So I haven't actually done that yet. I'm waiting to do that one day in my life.
Okay, you're going to do that. It hasn't happened. It will happen next year. But I was in a small town in Georgia, and I was doing workshops, kindergarten to grade 5, and there was other things I was doing. But around the grade 2, 3 level, I started introducing some exploding dots. And I wish I had a camera, and I wish I have the memory, which is good enough. But I remember this teacher, and they have these wonderful Southern accents, and she was there, obviously thinking it was going to be something else. And then I sprinted this exploding dots on her, and she's literally looking around at all her colleagues with this joy and perplexity, all in one, in like the short time frame you just discussed. And it's that moment to me, which is the engine for this Global Math Project, that human experience that it's ineffable. I can't show you a picture of it. I can't show, I'm talking about it, but that to me is what I think is going to really be the celebratory points.
And there's absolutely some truth to that for sure. I mean, that's my experience every time I talk about exploding dots from all these different places, all different communities, all around the place. It is such a joy, and it's a universal one. But also, I mean, look at this Global Math Project. We're a grassroots organization. We're just getting off the ground. We have nothing to really show for ourselves yet. I mean, our web page is there for sure, but we don't have a registration page yet up. It's coming soon, don't get me wrong. But we've got people flooding on join us. We've got ambassadors from all over the world already. We have about 160 people signed on as ambassadors. I think about 130 actually signed up on the website at this page. There's another 30 in process still, from all over the globe. And these are people dealing with the abstract notion still. We've not yet actually released Exploding Dots yet. They know something is going on and they believe in it already. It's absolutely astounding. And these are people representing, I think it's about 45 different countries at this point, which is, to me, unbelievable and stunning. And I cannot wait until April or so. We actually have a concrete registration page up so that teachers actually now sign up and have a real call to action. Because we're getting this response before we even have anything to actually do. Wait till we have something to actually do for people. Oh my goodness, it's going to be crazy.
Well,
and being an ambassador... Sorry.
And I think you were just going to talk about that, being an ambassador. Talk about what, like, in terms of what do you need to, because right now I think there's some, we want to demystify it. You know, what do you need to become an ambassador? And I think you're going to tell people, you know, what it means. And it's quite simple, actually.
Well, it's okay, first of all, if you just enjoy mathematics and want to help spread the word about mathematics, you've just qualified as an ambassador. Well done. Sign up. So in terms of the actual practicalities of being on the Global Math Project, the help we need with is actually just literally spreading the word and actually having spreading the word and having teachers actually sign up to understand Exploding Dots and try to make students during a Global Math Week, October 2017. So an ambassador, the only real job, if you want the actual nitty-gritty nuts and bolts of it, apart from being a joyous ambassador of fabulous mathematics, is can you help us connect to some teachers in your local area, be it 3, be it 30, be it 300, to actually have the confidence to try doing something with mathematics, Exploding Dots in this case for 2017, and just try it in their classes and have an experience. That's it, have an experience. Can you just help spread the word that way? That's all it takes to really be an ambassador. In fact, you can sign up for that right now, and we'd so appreciate that. And I mean, of course, you can help us with other things. There's lots of work for us to be done. For example, all our materials are currently in English. It would be nice if they could be translated to other languages and so forth. But that details. I mean, feel free to help out in any way you want. Really, it's just getting the word out to local communities, to local schools, local teachers, not just school teachers, math enrichment programs, math clubs, after-school programs, learners of all ages, be it at retirement communities. There's a lot, there's a lot of great seminars going on for folk there. Anyone that wants to learn mathematics, have them reach out to them and see if they'd like to do Exploding Dots during that October global conversation about them. That's all it takes to be an ambassador. Just help us spread the word to a teacher or 3 or 30 or 300. 3 is actually okay, so there's really low pressure here.
And I think one of the nice things when you become an ambassador is that, you know, you're part of this community. We have a Slack channel which you can communicate with other members and you can see what they're doing. Everyone's on a different part of the learning curve. I know you've generously put your PDF file of the Exploding Dots lecture, the 75-minute lecture you do. So if people want to know more about it, they can access it there. I mean, it's a learning community. We're learning together, and that's the key thing. Of course, this is your brainchild, and you've done this many times. But I initially started at ground zero, my first foray into it, and now all I want to do is just travel and show Exploding Dots. So it doesn't matter what your level, as long as your enthusiasm and passion is there, you'll be infected by the community and it'll take over. Did we lose your volume? James is still talking. Okay, I'm going to just keep talking. And James, can you hear me? You can hear me. Okay, but I can't hear you. Okay, now am I going to assume that? So I'm just going to. Oh, there we go.
Hey,
back
Samuel.
on.
It's
Yes.
Sam. Sam here. Samuel. Hi guys.
Hi, Sam.
James, did you mute your headphone by any chance on a
Accident?
button?
No.
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 Okay, guys.
Yes, I did. I have one of these buttons. I didn't realize I had one of these buttons in my lap. Obviously, I'm not technically savvy, so there we go. Thank goodness for Scolab. Thank you, Scolab.
Amazing, guys.
So I was seeing the chat box go by as you were saying that, and a lot of people saying that they teach at different levels. And let me be more specific about what Exploding Dots in particular does cover. So we will start at place value for early grades. We will actually explain all the traditional standard algorithms one learns in primary school. That is, why does the addition algorithm work the way it does? Why does subtraction algorithm work the way it does? Why does multiplication work? Why does long division work? Which, by the way, is deeply mysterious. And if you think about it, actually, you're taught to read left to right in school, except for math class, because you do addition from right to left. You do subtraction from right to left, which is weird. You do long multiplication from right to left. Except, by the way, by the time you get to grade 5 or 6, you do long division from left to right all of a sudden. It's so bizarre for kiddos. It's just bizarre. So we'll talk about all that and demystify it. But of course, that's all mathematics base 10, because we're very human. We're so obsessed with the number 10 because of our physiology. Nothing particular about base 10 there. So let's do it in base X, so all the high school teachers can now be happy, and we'll just repeat it all and realize all of polynomial work, all that high school algebra you do in polynomials is exactly the same as grade 5 all over again. Whoa, that's a big, big mind-blowing moment, but actually it's no different from grade 5. Absolutely not, I kid you not. But why stop there? Why stop with finite polynomials and do some really weird divisions so we can actually get into infinite series? For example, we can actually construct the geometric series formula in 30 seconds. It just pops right out from just playing with dots and boxes and other weird things. Want to keep going? We can keep going. So when I say it really does unite the algebra and arithmetic of K through 12, I mean it. I literally mean it. I taught this way as a high school teacher. I taught exploding dots to my kids each and every year, be they 9th graders or 12th graders, because it has its value all the way through. We got infinite series for my kids. We got to polynomial work for my freshmen. Absolutely valid work, goes all the way through. I give this talk really at colleges as well, because, as I said, there's unsolved research stuff hidden behind all this too. It all just unravels and unfolds itself brilliantly. And I see Queen Martin is on the chat box as well, and she is just a great proponent. She does this too. She knows while I'm speaking the truth. It's not just me. Thank you, Queenie.
Let's see, John's there. Oh, I'm glad everyone introduced themselves. It's so nice to see all those provinces and states and countries and familiar faces or names and.
So does anyone have a big question they'd like to type in quickly? Because it looks like we've only got a few more minutes left. This time has whipped by.
Let's see. Hi, everyone. Natal. I think you answered that question. How far north?
All right.
Oh, I think they're talking maybe amongst themselves. But I think we should definitely encourage the people who are in the first webinar to become ambassadors.
There's a good question there.
Yeah.
From Simon Navade. Do you have a challenge for us?
A challenge?
Oh, okay. Here's my challenge. Well, I obviously mentioned this, that we are very much 10 focused, at least in our Western society. There are many cultures that actually work base 20. So that's my first question. Why 20? What were they thinking? There's a lot of cultures in Southeast Asia and parts of India that actually work with one hand, and they naturally thought base 12 because of one hand. Where's that coming from? And then the Babylonians, way back 4,000 years ago, the Sumerians just before them, were thinking base 60. Who in their right mind would want to choose base 60? But they're very human. They must have had a very human reason for it. So here's my challenge for you, which is really the story of place value and the beginning exploding dots. Why are some cultures base 10? Why are some base 20? Why are some base 12? I'm doing a little hint right now. And why are some base 60? Where could all that come from? What's the human story there? What I love about mathematics, not only is it a human enterprise in its own right in terms of its content, what it unfolds, but it has all the human history to it, behind it as well. It's actually a human story on both levels because it speaks to our human hearts and it has human history to it. So there's my little challenge for you. Context, basis.
Amazing, great question. Thank you, Simon. By
the way, how do you say 87? How do you say 87 in French?
87.
Sounds very base 20 to me. Don't you say 4 20s and 7? You curious folk up there in Montreal.
4 score.
Oh, there's one comment here about the challenge. Can you also type the challenge for us visual learners? Thanks. So James will work on getting that to the attendees and more people actually. That little challenge we'll share it.
Okay.
Amazing.
All right. I'll do that in a moment.
Perfect. So I guess, guys, do you want to do a recap of the actual a time or the main lines that people should keep in mind after this webinar? What they should remember?
James?
Well, I think that, what should you remember? Math is joyous. Just know that. Just believe that and just actually experience for yourself. Number 2, there's a big project going on called the Global Math Project that's going to share that joy with the world on October 10th, 2017. And if you'd really like to actively share that world, it's not scary to become an ambassador. In fact, it's kind of fun to be an ambassador. Consider going to the website and signing up to be an ambassador. We will so welcome you on board. And if in particular you can help us find some teachers to help do some with actual kids and other math learners, no matter their age, be they school students or non-school students, we'd love to have you on board to help us reach those people and have an experience with them too. Let's share the math across the globe and prove that we really can transcend borders and unite communities through the joyous world of mathematics.
James, just in case, are there, I don't know, maybe we can tell people their website or social media, or where can they find more about that project?
Just Google the Global Math Project. You'll find it all now. What can I say? So globalmathproject.org. There is some confusion whether you have the word "the" in front of it or not. So theglobalmathproject.org or just globalmathproject.org does not matter. Either way, it works. So if you're the person or non-the person, globalmathproject.org is the way to go. You'll get all the basic information there. Yes, we're Facebooking, we're tweeting, and all the rest. If you just search Global Math Project, you will find us, and please share those conversations. Help just get the buzz going for this. There's a lot of buzz already, but you know, buzz is just a good thing. Sunil, am I missing anything?
Amazing.
No,
Yes, Sunil.
I was going to actually say ditto, but I think just one more thing, and just I mean, the future webinars, which are going to be happening every month, just to let people know that you know, one of the things we want to do is to bring on ambassadors from different parts of the world, or that normally we wouldn't have access to, and so these ambassadors could talk about the kind of mathematics that they experience in their culture, what brings them joy, some of the challenges, why they decide to become an ambassador. So, you know, we really want to be true to that global math spirit and get as many ambassadors on board to be part of the webinars and to speak to the global idea of what this project's going to be. So just stay tuned and check back to see what's going to be happening.
And Sunil,
another webinar in a month.
Yes, a webinar in a month. Sunil, if people want to learn more about you or Scholab or NetMath or BuzzMath, is there some place they can have a look at?
I'm on Twitter. People can follow me at MathGarden. I'll type it in. I'm also on Facebook as well. And yeah, I'm also at Scholab, the math consultant I do there. So anytime they want to find information about Global Math Project, they just got to type any of those things and they're going to get lots of results.
Amazing. So I guess we're good for this first webinar. Thanks everyone for joining us. I think we all had a pretty amazing time. That was great. And thank you, James and Sunil. You were amazing. So people that I encourage people actually to go back to that globalmathproject.org website so that they can register to the next webinars in a few months, and we'll see you there. So see you next time, guys. Ciao.
Okay. Bye-bye.